In what is being described as another brazen attack on religious freedom in Nigeria, 177 worshippers were abducted during simultaneous attacks on churches in Kuriga area of Chikun local government area, Kaduna State. The attacks occurred during Sunday services, leaving communities devastated and security agencies scrambling for answers.
No group has claimed responsibility yet, but the scale and coordination of the assaults raises serious questions about the state of security intelligence, early warning systems, and the protection of vulnerable communities before and after this attack. Join us now on Breakfast Central to unpack the implications of this attack and what it reveals about Nigeria's security architecture, security intelligence and investigation expert, Dr. Yahuza Getso. One welcome to you, Dr. Getso, and thanks for joining us on Breakfast Central this morning.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, team.
Now, first off, I believe it's very important to establish what's really happened in Kaduna about this allegations of the abduction of 100 worshippers. The Nigerian police and the local government chairman are saying no one was kidnapped in Kaduna, and the police council insists no attack occurred, and they're demanding a victims list. And the Christian Association of Nigeria is still maintaining that a number of people, more than 100, were abducted. So what's the situation with the kidnappings in Kaduna?
Well, I think, first of all, we need to clear the air that the kidnappers are not after a religious group, are not after a religious belief, are not after a religious faith. They are just criminals who are committing atrocities and conducting their activities against both Muslim, Christian, and traditionalists. And the focus is three. One, to make it more difficult and more hard for the government, and two, to distract the leadership from governance, and number three, to make it clear that yes, the kidnapping activity is still valid activity that is taking place in the country. Now, the reality is the Christian Association of Nigeria is a community-based organization and faith-based organization. And they have the responsibility for the people and on the people for them to have explained that a number of people have been kidnapped, more than 100, and this happened in a church, and it happens on Sunday. So there is a clear correlation. The clear correlation is making it, one, Sunday-based, two, Christian-related based. So I think the police authority, or rather, all the community-based organizations or all the faith-based organizations are under the auspice leadership and supervision and the monitoring and the leadership of the authority, that is the government. And the government form part of the local government chairman, councillor of the political ward, as well as the leadership of the leading party in the state, and at the same time, the police authorities and the other security agencies, to mention the few. Now, it is very necessary and important and for us to have the CAN leadership to conduct a press briefing and provide outline number of people providing their names, providing probably their phone numbers, providing also their surnames, and then link probably if they may have their national ID or any of the identity, identify them. I expect by now, for now, the religious institutions, both mosques, churches, and the traditional religious institutions, they should have been started conducting or building a database. And not only a database, I think it is high time for all the mosques and all the churches and all other religious-based structures to have a kind of a thumbprint done, whereby each and everyone that enters will be, personality will be recorded, so they will know their members. And by knowing their members, whenever you come to enter church, in any situation whereby you want to enter church or you want to enter mosque, you should make a thumbprint. And that thumbprint, the record will be generated easily, because we shouldn't be doing things in analog. The world has gone beyond analog, so we should also move from analog to digital.
Okay.
So, and I believe the head of mosque and the head of churches and head of all other agencies, religious-based agencies, they should be able to provide such security door, whereby each member, when entering, will put a thumbprint, and if there is any incident of kidnapping or fire incidents or any other incidents of disaster, the data can easily be generated and be published. So I wonder, between now and the time the action happened, that was yesterday, I expect the Christian Association of Nigeria to publish through the newspapers the details, names of those who have been abducted from the church, and also to provide, probably there should be some recordable items, because I expect in each and every church at that level, I expect to have a CCTV. In each and every mosque at that level, I expect to have a CCTV. And you know, even if there is a kind of a rowdy situation, there should be some people that can be able to use their phone to easily snapshot or conduct some information generation, or use a recording device to easily generate some information that can be presented to the government as an evidence. But it is quite disheartening, disappointing, and sad for us at this time to be hearing that there are issues. Government, police authority, or the security agencies are saying no, there was no abduction. The local government is saying no abduction. The state government make a clear declaration after an emergency security meeting and debunked the abduction, and still the Christian Association of Nigeria is saying no, there is abduction of more than 100.
So Dr. Getso, Dr. Getso,
what are their names? Can we have a random sample identity of some of them?
Okay, Dr. Getso, we have so many questions to ask. I know you're proffering solutions already, but please permit me to take you back. I think the question every Nigerian wants to know now is, was there an abduction or there was no abduction? Before we even talk about the figures, I think that's the most important concern or meat in this conversation, because if there was no abduction, then we wouldn't be having this conversation at all, talk less of proffering solutions. Was there an abduction?
Well, actually, as far as I'm concerned, if Christian Association of Nigeria mentioned that there was abduction, then there was abduction. It is very clear.
Okay.
Because if there is no smoke, where is the fire? How do fire come if there is no smoke?
All right.
Yeah,
so you've also mentioned, I mean, in your suggestion, you mentioned about how you think you would suggest that religious leaders ensure that they have fingerprints before they go into the church or the mosque or whatever place of worship they're using, which sounds like a great idea. However, we can't take away the fact that a number of these churches are not really wealthy. Some of them barely have a proper structure put up together. Churches or mosques is basically a building, right? A number of them are not as rich as you would expect for them to get a proper structure.
Or CCTV. Yeah.
CCTV cameras and all of that. Is that maybe where the government steps in?
Well, actually, I'm disputing your position. I believe that at any level, no matter how low the level may be, as far as we are worshippers, whether Christian or Muslims, I am a Muslim, of course, and I have too many Christian friends, especially in Southern Kaduna, Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Yobe, Enugu, Oyo, Oshin, Ekiti, you know, all over the country. I have many friends who are Reverend Fathers, who are pastors, and I have too many friends who are Christians. And I believe with the commitments of the religious commitments I know in Nigeria, you can't tell me that people cannot afford to fix CCTV. With less than 45,000 naira, you can fix a CCTV. How much do we have to contribute? How many worshippers in each and every church, in each and every mosque? that you can tell me that they cannot be able to collect, to put together 40,000, especially at the lower level. Let me tell you, the commitment at the macro level, at the village level, they do much more. And we are talking, remember, we are talking about life and death. Because there is already an existing security threats. There are kidnappers, there are religious communal conflicts, there are also tribal conflicts. So there are existence of emerging disaster communication that has already emotionally been transferred to each and every Nigerian, especially in Kaduna, in Sokoto, Kebbi, Zamfara, Katsina, Jigawa, Kano, and the rest of almost all the states in Nigeria. A signal has already been sent that nobody is safe in Nigeria. And it is very clear. You can see the level of irresponsiveness, of poor commitment by the government, having less than 1% for fighting the poverty alleviation. If you have this, look at the indices of the budget, and look at the number of the cases, and look at the amount of money being imputed as a security votes being spent by the local government chairman and the governors, as well as the president and other ministers and the rest of them. When you look at that money, I think that money could have been utilized strategically to share some portion of that money to churches and mosques as a contribution to ensure that CCTVs and other security guards are put together, are installed in those places. And then the community will be encouraged also by the commitment from the government. If you need 45,000, the local government chairman can easily contribute 5,000, the councillor can easily contribute 5,000, the reverend can easily contribute 5,000. That is making what? And then individually, in one church session or one mosque session, if you discuss security, you sensitize people and you say you want to install CCTV, even if it is only 40 people that are worshiping in that mosque or in that church, believe me or not, sincerely, people are easily going to contribute that money, and the CCTV or any security gadget can easily be installed. It's a
Dr. Getso.
It's a clarion call. Everybody must wake up. Nigeria is not safe, and the government is not really ready and determined to deliver the security for people and property in Nigeria. I have my reasons.
Yes, Dr. Getso, we've seen these sorts of attacks play out in the past. Attacks on religious institutions in the north over the past 10 years plus. So this is unprecedented. I mean, this is not surprising to see, and it's not something that we're new to, that is alien to us. My question is, why is there pushback from the authorities, from the local government, from the police, and from the state governments? Is it that they don't want the embarrassment of saying that there's been a failure in security? Because, I mean, like I said, it's not a strange thing to us. It's almost becoming a norm, which is very unfortunate. But why this particular story? Why is there so much pushback from the authorities in denying or saying that, vehemently saying that no such kidnappings or attack took place? What could be the reason behind it?
I think the simple reason could be the weak government. And that could be the simple reason. The government is weak. Because if government is not weak, why do we have the division? Why do we have the separation? Why do we have a different powers shaking one another? The religious power is shaking the governance power. Because the Christian Association of Nigeria is a religious power body and it's a power on its own. While the local government chairman, the governor, as the police authority, are another government. So why can't we have a good coordination? It means there is a poor coordination, it means there is insubordination, and it means there is a politicking, and it means government have not been taking its responsibility. Because why do we have the division? When the authority of the Christian Association of Nigeria is insisting that people have been abducted, the government and the police authority are insisting that nobody has been abducted. So as far as I'm concerned, I believe more on the Christian Association of Nigeria than that of the government. than that of the police, because it is very clear that you are weak. I'm talking to the government, that Obasani government and the leadership of the local government and the police authority in Kaduna State, you are operating a very weak system. You need to go back to the drawing board, because you're supposed to be the owners of the community, and you have to take the whole ownership of both the lives and property. So if there is a conflicting issue in such circumstance, within 24 hours or within 12 hours or more than that, the religious body is saying, no, we were abducted. You, the government, you stay in the government house, you stay in your police division, you stay in the local government secretariat, and you are arguing that there was no abduction. So how do you justify? You have the authority over the Christian Association of Nigeria, the DSS, the police, and the military. Bring together, bring on board, bring to the table, and bring all the news agencies in Kaduna State, all the press members, bring them all together. Make a massive mobilization of all the media houses and invite the Christian Association of Nigeria and ask them to justify what happens and provide evidence. That is when we will believe you. But if you cannot do so, you just go on media debunking that it didn't happen, then we have to blame you. We have to accuse you. We have to challenge you that your house is not really in order. There are issues of poor coordination. It means the government is becoming weaker and weaker. It means there is no coordination. Because any government that cannot coordinate with components that make power. Because Obasani or the local government chairman didn't find themselves there simply, but because those people from that area have contributed by using their votes, casting their votes for Obasani and the local government chairman. So it is the responsibility of Governor Obasani and the responsibility of the local government chairman and the councillor to provide them to have a kind of a coordination mechanism that will provide safety and security for the people within the territorial integrity of Kaduna State. And if there are issues, it is not about going through the media. This one is challenging this one is about proving. What are the proven evidence that you have that there was no abduction? How do you justify to the public that there was abduction, you, the Christian Association of Nigeria? Who has the authority over who? I believe the local government chairman and the Kaduna State government and the police have the authority over the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Muslim community and all the citizens of Kaduna State. They didn't say that operations happens on the air. No, it happens in a specific given church, in a specific community, in a specific local government. Hold them accountable and bring them up to board.
So, Dr. Getso, Dr. Getso,
it happens or it didn't happen.
Dr. Getso, let me come in here as well. I mean, we do have images, as you can see there on the screen. Also, our reporter was on ground. We can rightly say now with this conversation that we're having with you that we may not be able to ascertain the exact number in terms of 177 persons. But the question I also want to ask you is, I want us to go back to this incident, this recent one, and we must sincerely apologize as well for some of the footage we may be showing to you on the screen. It may not be images that I would say is indeed palatable or so. But then again, Dr. Getso, this incident has happened. CAN has not released the list of names of persons who were, in case, abducted. However, this happened on ground. What is the correlation between the local security in terms of the security who are within that particular area and the Nigerian army? And have you heard of any statement, especially being a security expert, from the Nigerian army or from the police? Has there been any intel that has been shared? Did they come with motorbikes as usual? And where did they take them to?
Well, the reason why I didn't even talk about the coordination between the non-formal, that is the community-based security, is because it is now kind of challenge or kind of a fight at the high level. You know, one two elephant fight, it is the grass that suffers the most. So the community are suffering the most. Whichever way, the kidnappers can come in any way. But as far as I'm concerned, I have seen in the news yesterday night through the Nigerian Television Authority during their 9 to 10 usual news. Governor Obasani and some other people were debunking. And I saw also a cycle, a roundtable meeting where the military were in attendance, the police were in attendance, and other people who I might believe are DSS and the rest or whatever, because they call it emergency security meeting. And during that emergency security meeting, all the relevant agencies are expected to be in attendance. And for me, I have seen the military in their uniform. I have seen many of the Nigerian army officers seated, and I have seen the governor, and I believe the police were also there, and the DSS, some people were there without uniform. I'm not sure whether they are DSS, but I assume they are DSS or people from the intelligence. You cannot dispute that all the agencies come together along with the government of Kaduna State to debunk it. But there is no any member of the Christian Association of Nigeria or the traditional leader or religious leader or any of the philanthropists from that community in Kaduna State that were in attendance or participated to have debunked the incidents that it didn't happen. Whether there was intelligence, whether there was information, whether they came using bike, whether they came on foot, whether there are informants who gave them a place to hide in their houses. Because, you know, when such incidents is happening or is about to happen, there are unscrupulous elements among Nigerian citizens who contribute by collecting the arms of the bandits, and they will keep it in their houses. They will even hide, some will even use their houses as the hideout for the bandits, and they will monitor the church or mosque activity or traveling activity or whatever, and then alert the bandit to come quickly pick your gun and quickly go and attack them. And in some instances, they will park their vehicle far away from the town or at the outskirts of the settlements where they want to conduct their atrocities. There are situations whereby they force one of the drivers, also a driver in the community who own a car, to park whosoever they abducted and also drive them to a certain place where they will take their motorbike and move into the forest or into the where they want to go and keep their hostages or the kidnapped persons. So there are different strategic and scenarios which they are doing, but whichever way, the argument remains. There are footage, there are pictures, there are videos flying, moving around from that community, and we have not seen governments bringing to the table, to the round table discussion, mobilizing all the media houses and asking the Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State, or that local government chapter, or the community chapter to debunk that there was no abduction as being proclaimed by the Kaduna State government and by the police authority.
Wow. A lot has been said, no doubt, and it also seems that the government might need to step up its game. I mean, I don't know, but I'd just like to leave my final question to you. Now that this has happened, and now that there's an interplay on how many the numbers were in terms of how many people were abducted, and then there's a case of, okay, provide us with evidences, let's know who and who was taken. Where do we go from here? You did mention a very critical issue, which we have highlighted you on the program, that when incidences like this happen in other countries or in other parts of the world, the security agencies would have a press briefing to, brief the people, Nigerians at large, telling them what they know and the incidents that took place, and they would get back to them with any updates. So far, so good. We haven't gotten any presser, especially from the security agencies and government. Can you share with us what the way forward could be, especially for them?
Well, the way forward is to have people being held accountable for their responsibility and authority given. As far as we will not hold people accountable and responsible, based on the authority and assignment given to them, then there will be issues. I want to refer you, yesterday in Zamfara, there was ambush against some military personnel. And before the incidents, I had an inside information, which I provided to a certain highest level of authority. But it takes 3 hours to have coordination mechanism that will have saved the life of those 6 military personnel and 1 police personnel that were ambushed and killed. And even after killing them, I still keep dragging and following up for 3 hours before the arrival of the authorities, relevant authorities, both land and airstrike. Of course, the community is a little bit difficult to reach, but notwithstanding, it shouldn't have taken them 3 hours. What are we saying? Are we really?
I guess you have a little shaky network there, Dr. Getso. Well, Dr. Getso, our time is well spent. At this juncture, I want to say thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. And thanks for sharing more insights on the happening, especially the recent one there, of what we just saw on the screen. We are a bit out of time right now, but I want to thank you so much. I want to ask that you please avail yourself to us whenever we come calling again, especially on this issue of insecurity and your network, which has been fully involved. Thanks for your time.